Hello and welcome to OC Storytime, where I get to tell you more about my characters. So sit down, grab a drink, and I will tell you the story of Orion Lasitha. Orion's story takes place sometime in the future. We're talking space-age, sci-fi, all that jazz. He's from the planet Listea, located in the aptly named Listic Cluster. The species that lives on this planet is humanoid, but has variation in their physiology and anatomy, but that's not important for this story. Orion, at this point, is just named Lasitha. He gets his name in a future naming ceremony that will come later in his life. But for now, he lives with his mother and so far non-existent other parental figure because I haven't actually designed them yet. Everything is normal and happy, but then everything changes. There's a deadly disease that appears and takes over Orion's planet. Those who contract the disease become freaky little gooey guys that just consume the flesh of anything they find until they eventually turn to mush. Unfortunately, this means that the entire planet is either turned into one of these creatures or eaten by them, which Orion witnesses. But the most notable thing he sees is the gruesome death of his mother. Very sad. He's understandably very traumatized and takes her opalescent earrings, which he later ends up wearing himself. Then, out of nowhere, a spaceship appears, a cargo ship on its trade routes. The ship is captained by Ed, or Eddie, but only Orion can call him that. Ed sees Orion and rescues him, even though the crew is worried he might be a carrier for the disease. They isolate him at first, but eventually realize he isn't a threat and come to raise him as a family. Ed is actually the one who ends up naming Orion, and he also pierces his ears so that he can finally wear his mother's earrings. Eventually, they return to Earth, where Ed is originally from, and Orion attends the Space Academy. He graduates top of his class as a science officer alongside his friend Baz. They are both assigned to the spaceship Polaris, which looks a hell of a lot better than it does here, but I go back and put an actual drawing of it in later. This ship is one of the best in the whole fleet, and the mission of its crew is to try and understand this disease. At this point, it is jumping from planet to planet, destroying all the life it comes in contact with. It also doesn't act like any other known disease, so the Polaris is sent out to study it in hopes there can eventually be a cure. The crew is pretty big, but the important characters are Orion, of course, Baz, Caleb, and Viv. The captain is this unnamed woman, and if you have any name suggestions for her, please leave them in the comments because I have no idea what to call her. There is more to the story of the spaceship Polaris, but I won't go into it this time. There's a lot I want to keep a surprise for whatever this story ends up turning into, so stay tuned for future plans. But for now, that is the end of this story. Thank you for listening to this OC Storytime. I hope you enjoyed, and be sure to come back next time for another interesting tale.